and welcome into the channel. Today's exploration, chocolate. This is a Cherno map, vanilla plus, no mods. However, the loot table has been tweaked, as I found out. My initial run, to which I forgot to record, picked up this M16 down there in the little town of Solnichny. Alright, not much more worth going down to explore there. Let's head inland. And of course, I'm a creature of habit. When I draw this spawn, I usually avoid the roads altogether and come up over hill to this radio tower, and then slip down into 3 valleys. And from there, I'll slip south into Tulga, and then maybe Rog Castle. I can't tell you how many countless times I arrived at this very location, soaking wet and starving, looking to build a fire. Many a dark, wet night spent in that shed for sure. And usually when dawn breaks and I've had my fill of chicken, I head out and I check these trees for fruit. They're bountiful. However, after you sat up top of that hill riding out a night, it's hard to gauge whether that fruit is generated from your presence or another player. So I usually just assume another player's come through being so close to the coast. This dirt track over to my left, it winds in an S down into the valley, and it's lined with fruit trees and patches of mushrooms. Do yourself a favor if you're running through here. Grab what you see and eat it on the fly. If you don't have storage space, don't worry about carrying it. Just eat it. It's not doing you any good in your inventory. At the moment, there are a few people on, and I hope it picks up. But in reality, I really don't care. I'm here to review the balance of the table and how easy it is to survive for a beginner. PvP? Well, I can find that anywhere. Keeping that in mind, this is a vanilla plus server, meaning vanilla rules. The only difference, base damage has been turned off. You can still raid, you just have to be cheeky about it. And still, no cheating. But, so far, so good. The server is set up that even the day 1 player will be able to get somewhere. That's interesting, there's only 1 infected here. There's usually 2 or 3, minimum. Now these mushrooms definitely were not for me. I haven't been here long enough. And like I said, eat what you find when you find it. There's no point worrying about putting it into your inventory. Get your food and water up. Stay healthy. And with the frequency that I'm finding fresh fruit and mushroom, tells me we're not really going to struggle for food. Case in point, everywhere I look, I'm finding what I need. Crossbow. Not the weapon I want, but I'll take it for now. Had the server not been adjusted to unlimited stamina, I'd really have to question whether I would take that crossbow or not. It's quite heavy. Almost as heavy as carrying a bear trap. Alright, over hill and dale it is. Next stop, Tulga. And of course, there's 2 or 3 deer stands on the way. We'll obviously hit those as well. Bolts for the crossbow. Now usually, when I run a fresh server and review the table, my objective is coast to Zenit or coast to Northwest Airfield. However, I have a friend playing the server with a few of her friends, and they're having trouble finding nails. So I think what I'm going to do is set my sights on getting myself sustained for travel, and then go help them find their building supplies and set up a stash for them. Yeah, she heard me. Might as well face the music. If you want to kill these infected quicker, hit them in the head. I'm trying to avoid hitting her in the head. I want that hat. Mine's green, I want navy. And another crossbow. We'll take that bolt. I'm already at max capacity for inventory space, so I definitely have to eat what I find when I find it. Definitely need to increase my storage size, so upgrading my clothes is going to be essential, and/or finding a backpack. Well, that there pine tree looks like it needs a V8 or a chiropractor. I never really expect to find much at all in any of these deer stands, on any server. I'll be taking that compass. I know the map very well, however, not as well as Livonia, where I would pass it up for inventory space. There she is, the town of Tolga. Water well, maybe a dozen buildings, and a few outbuildings. Not a whole lot here, but you can get yourself geared for the road with some food, decent clothing, and luck out with some building supplies. However, with that said, you want to take special care. It is a popular destination when fresh, and people want to get off the coast quick. It's just a quick run up the hill, and you're here. Well, I hear supper in the distance. I'm gonna collect up some short stick, combine it with the wire I have, make a snare, load it with a worm, then we're gonna loop Tolga, come back and check that snare, and collect our supper. Right along this fence, right by that pear tree. That'll be the perfect spot. The way the server's set up, I really don't think it's necessary that I have to set up this snare, or hunt any animal for that matter, but we're going to do it anyway, just to demonstrate how easy it is to collect your food while you're looting. Easy there, coachies. You just go about your business. Nothing to see here. You don't want to get your foot caught in this. Alright, now let's go loot up this little town, see what we can rustle up. Those look like comfortable shoes. Mama always said you could tell a lot about a person in their shoes. Where they've been, where they're going. Hey, some zucchini in the pantry. Still no inventory space to pack it, so we'll eat it. Alright, now we're talking. Goodbye crossbow. More importantly, goodbye crossbow arrows. And I do believe there was a box of buckshot in that first house I checked, just up by that chicken snare. Alright, let's get down into the core of town. Probably about 5-6 houses and a few outbuildings. Now, from my understanding, the server has just wiped recently with the last update. Other than that, I'm really surprised that there's no base here. You usually find a small starter base. And the only reason why, or the main reason, I would come to Tulga, this here water well. Top up the bottles I have. Oh, looks like I got some attention. Well, I don't mind if I do. Blending in better with the environment by the minute, and I increased my inventory slot size by 8. Woohoo! And with that box of shells and another one up by the snare, we now have 2 boxes. And since it's right beside me, I might as well collect it. And here's where you have some decisions to make. If I had the inventory space, I'd pack this chicken whole. It is a large 9 slots. However, once I harvest the meat from this chicken, the clock starts ticking on the decay rate. Typically, you're going to get 2 to 3 breasts, 2 slots each, and the bone is 4. Bone is essential for fishing and carving knife on the fly, so you want to take those. And had I not found the shotgun and kept the crossbow, I would have kept those feathers to make quills for bolts. I'll loot up these houses and outbuildings on my way back to that chicken snare and see what we caught. Typically, you want to travel a minimum of 25 to 50 meters away from your snare, and for a good 5 to 10 minutes before you want to check it. Excellent. We'll upgrade this crowbar to a hatchet. Well, that's unfortunate. I could really use this duct tape. It's so versatile. But I don't have the inventory space as usual, so we'll just use it for its intended purpose, patching up these pants. And we'll leave it here. I really detest having to use duct tape to fix freshy clothes. Because you know what? As soon as you waste that duct tape, getting those crappy clothes up to par, you're going to find pants. And looky looky, now we can cookie. Eating inventory and sorting through this problem. The logistics of DayZ. What to carry, what to leave. Well, that's the second gas canister I've found in this town alone. I wish I had a gas stove and a pot. It'd make cooking that chicken a snap. And I thought about cooking that chicken here, eating some of it and freeing up some inventory space, but I think we'll hold on to it just a little bit longer and push forward. I think I'll set my sights on Rog Castle. Go see if we can't find ourselves something that holds 308, like a Tundra, Savannah, maybe a Blaze. But somehow I have a feeling I'm only going to find a crossbow. I don't know. We've already seen two. Oh, how did I know you'd be here? And another. I have absolutely no use for the chainmail. Those binoculars I'd take if I had the room. And yet another crossbow. Lovely. However, those charcoal tablets are worth their weight. We'll take those. We'll have to eat some space. Alright, let's go throw this crossbow and beat feet. Well, there's a stone on the trail someone's been through. And a drying mushroom. You know, sometimes you can find some decent loot up there. However, you want to know when server restarts. You don't want to fall down in the middle of it. Oh, hey Devil. Sorry about that little inside joke. Alright, I'm going to slip into this valley. There's a military checkpoint at the crossroads, and then a little cabin just above it. We'll rest up there. Take good care entering this checkpoint. There are a lot of infected. You won't see them until they're on you. Case in point. I want that coif that he's wearing, so I can't hit him in the head. And here goes the domino effect. Pull him away so the others don't hear. This guy, hit him in the head. See, they go down much easier when you hit them in the head. And I'll help myself to this magazine, or at least the rounds in it. I was really hoping on picking up some clothing here. So the explanation here, I don't have room for both magazines. One will be in the gun, so I'm going to strip the other, pack the one from the gun, reload, and beat feet. I really shouldn't be doing this right here, but like I said, inventory space. I'm taking a huge gamble. It is low pop, and the gamble is that anyone that is on is already further inland. Currently, right now, I'm just outside of Electro. I'm not far off the coast whatsoever. Drawing a northeast spawn, a lot of my run so far has been ditching south, getting me in line to where I want to go. I've got 2 knives on me, so these assault boots will come in handy. I can free up some inventory space by slipping a knife in it. And look, more rounds for the M16. Oakley dokley. Up to the cabin we go. The cabin to which I'm heading was my base location on the series I did for the Land of Cherno. It stood for several weeks without being hit, but to my neglect, I got busy on another server, and my flag decayed, and my base thus disappeared. Very quickly, I might add. Well, my intentions were fully to cook here, but the way the loot table's laid out, and the vegetation is giving me bountiful mushroom and fruit, off you fuck, chicken. Heyo, nails. Perfect. I think I know exactly what to do with you. Eventually, myself and or my friend's gonna need some storage. That path leading back down to the coast takes me out in between Cherno and Electro. And there's a fresh ADA. I wonder what parts it needs, if any. Yes, sir, all the parts are there. All I need, gas and water. Well, I can loot up the rest of Pusta and see if we can find a jerry can. If not, we're on foot. Well, he closed that distance quick, but he's got a backpack, so we'll just pistol whip him. Well, I certainly didn't find a jerry can, and I wouldn't find one in a house, normally. But the way this loot table's set up, you just don't know, you gotta check. But no jerry can here, so off to the next town. Moglevkia. Whoa, I guess these were her crisps. Absolutely fantastic. There's a fresh truck here. I won't be taking it, but still. I could absolutely use this medium tent, and it's the perfect color, green. And once I stow this away, I should really think about coming back for that gas stove. Now, where are we going to put this tent? How about that brand new Olga sitting there in the driveway? That'll work. Albeit the primary function is a protective case that is used for an improvised explosive, which doesn't make sense to be on a server that doesn't offer damage rate. And maybe we can find a jerry can here and take this show on the road. Well, that denim jacket, it doesn't provide much more insulation, but it does offer 10 more slots, so we will upgrade to it. And might as well use up this shirt, cut me some rag. And of course we'll use that rag to fix our gloves. I'm really starting to think this server owner has something for crossbows. How about that? Another box of nails. Now that is about the sweetest thing I've seen all day. Tundra and a 63 slot bag laying on the floor of the market. Yippee skippy. Whoa, things are getting real. Let's go put this with the light. Well, that hasn't been a bad run so far. Got ourselves a couple of boxes of nails, got a hatchet, we got a chunk of wire, and now pliers. A good jump start on some base building tools. Got ourselves a couple extra water bottles. We can make some suppressors with this duct tape for this beautiful Tundra that I just found. But we've covered a lot of ground today, and I think we'll continue. So for now, I'm going to find a high and dry spot to call it a night. Why don't you come on back and see what else happens on Chocolate. My recommendation for the server, if you're very new to the game and you're looking for a quiet DayZ experience without the toxicity of other players, so far this has been a low pop server and I haven't seen a hide nor hair of another person. If you're looking for PvP, this might not be for you. Either way, I'm going to give it a few more sessions to see if things turn around. Cheerio.